Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a flower rosette style hair bow. I make these as part of a school hair bow set, or I sell it individually. That don't have to be for a school theme, it can be any theme you like. You can mix and match your colours. I'm doing two colours today, red and white. I only use a little bit of white just to break up all of the red, but you could do 3 colours if you wanted to. It's completely up to you, just have a little play and you can make lots of different sort of colour designs with this. So for this bow you will need a mixture of width ribbon. These ones here are 9 to 10 millimeters wide, mine are 1 centimetre or 10 millimeters wide. And then you need the rest to be around 1 inch wide or 25 millimeters. You can use 22 millimeters, that would work as well. And the length you need to cut these at, so 1 centimetre wide, and I've got 3 pieces at 18.5 centimetres in length, or around 7¼ inches in length, and that is 3 pieces. And then the 3 in another colour, again 1 centimetre wide or 9 to 10 millimeters. All 3 pieces cut to 16 centimetres in length, or just over 6¼ inch in length. And then these 5 pieces here, they are all 1 inch wide or 25 millimeters. Again, like I said, you can use 22 millimeters. These are all cut to 5½ centimeters in length, or just under 2¼ inches in length, and that is 5 pieces. And then 3 pieces here, again 1 inch wide or 22 to 25 millimeters wide, and these are cut to 9½ centimeters in length, or around 3¾ inches in length, and that is 3 pieces. I'm going to set those pieces all aside for now. We're going to start with these 1 centimeter wide pieces. We take a lighter and we heat seal all of the ends of the ribbon on all of the pieces, and that will prevent any fraying and get rid of any existing frays. And starting with these pieces, taking a hot glue gun, we're going to put a little bit of glue on the end and we're going to form a loop, so overlapping it by just over 1/2 centimetre. Hot glue gun's not quite warmed up, so it is a little bit stringy, so excuse the stringy bits. But we're basically going to make these all into loops, all 6 pieces. If you are using all one colour here, make sure you keep the 16 centimetres pieces and the longer pieces separately, so you know which ones are which. So we've got 6 loops here now. These ones are the bigger ones and these are the smaller ones. Next, we're going to make these into a figure of 8. So to do that, I hold it where I've joined it together, and then I'm just going to find the centre. So I'm just kind of holding it and bringing it in half to mark the centre. And then I'm going to bring the centre mark down and then twist it to make this sort of infinity loop or a figure of 8. And then again, using hot glue, just a little dab, and just glue that down. So this is what you've got now, this figure of 8. I'm going to repeat that on all of these pieces. So we've got all 6 pieces now made into these figure of 8 loops. Next we're going to layer these up, so starting with the red ones, we're going to layer these up to form a flower, like this. So just again using a little bit of hot glue. And now we're going to stack this one on top of this one, and I'm going to slightly stagger it. So where this loop is, I'm going to have a loop in between each one. So this loop is between, this loop is between, so it works out. So you've got like all these overlapping loops, if that makes sense. So placing some glue in the middle, popping this on the top, slightly staggered so that the loops sit in between. So that is that part now finished. I'm now going to set this aside, and next we're going to work on these pieces here, which are the 1 inch wide by 5.5 centimeters in length. I have already heat sealed all of the ends of this ribbon, and I've got a needle threaded with some strong thread and a knot in the end. And what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm holding it where it naturally curves. So as you can see, ribbon generally has this sort of natural sort of curve in it. So I'm holding that natural curve facing towards me. I'm going to bring this top piece over to the right, so just grabbing the top diagonal to the right and then folding it in half downwards, meeting up the raw edge at the bottom, and then you can kind of neaten up this top point. So it looks like this. This is the bottom, this is going to be the top. And then taking my needle, I'm going to flip it over so the top is facing towards me, and I'm going to do 4 stitches going in through the first corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to pull this all the way through to the knot, and then I can just pop that down. And then we're going to work on the second piece the same again. So find that natural curve, facing that towards me, taking the top, folding it over to the right, and then folding it down in half so that the raw ends meet at the bottom, and then just tidy up the point at the top like that. So that's the bottom, and then I'm going to flip it over so the top is facing me. And I'm going to do 4 stitches again from the top side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that all the way through next to the first one we made. And I'm basically going to repeat that now on all of these pieces. So we're now on our last loop. Again, I'm going to drag that through so it meets up with all of these pieces. And then trying to keep them all the same way, I'm going to start pulling in my ribbon to make a pinch. I'm just going to carefully reheat seal this one, so it looks like I might have missed that one, and that is what happens if you don't heat seal. You do get those nasty frays. So pulling this tight now all the way through. And then I'm just going to catch this last edge by going through that end where I've come out, and I'm just going to go through this loose loop before I pull it completely tight to form a knot, and that will just hold in that pinch. And then I'm going to join it now to this other end. So I'm going to now go in through this other end where we started, where the knot is. And then pull it tight, and that will then bring those two ends together. And then on the underside, I'm going to go through again, through these two ends, just closing in that gap. And this time, again, before I pull it completely tight, I'm going to go through this loose loop a couple of times to form a knot, pull it tight, and then I can trim off the excess thread. So you've got this gorgeous little ribbon flower. These are also good to make to stick on snap clips as well. And now we're ready to stick this flower on the top of these two loops that we made earlier. This part doesn't quite work staggered, so I just nest it in there neatly, making sure it's central. Like I say, it don't quite work out staggered because there's 5 petals here and 6 here. You could do 6, but I've always just done 5. So this is what we've got so far. And now I like to add some spikes at the bottom for the finishing touch. So we've got our last 3 pieces of ribbon, and these are again the 1-inch wide ribbon, and these are cut to 9.5 centimeters in length. And we're going to cut a spike in the end of these. So to do that, I fold it in half along the lengthways, and then from this open corner, I cut down diagonally and slightly curved to give it a softer finish. And then keeping that held in place, but open it up so the ribbon's not touching. You can then heat seal both of those sides together at the same time. And then you've got that nice little spike on there. I'm going to do that on all 6 ends now. And now I'm going to find the centre. So I'm going to fold this in half and give it a little squeeze to mark the centre, so I can just see the crease on there. I'm going to do that on all 3 pieces. And then I'm just laying those then over the top of each other to make like a star shape. And once I'm happy with the alignment, I'm going to pop some glue on there to hold it in place. And now we can layer everything now on top of this. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the underside of my little flower and lay that on my tails. And now we're ready to add a clip and a little pearl on the top. So I've got a 45mm double prong clip, and again some more 9 to 10mm wide ribbon to match my bow. I'm going to wrap my clip. This is optional, but this is something that I always like to do. I always say this in all of my tutorials. You don't have to do this part, but it is just something that I like to do. I'll trim that off where we need it. Heat seal the ball edge. And we don't have to obviously wrap anything around this clip because it is a flower. So what I like to do is stick the clip straight on the bottom. And then taking a scrap piece of felt, you could use red to match. I'm just going to do white for now. And I'm going to cut a circle shape out around sort of a 1 inch round, maybe a little bit bigger. I do this by eye. If you're not confident to do it by eye, you could draw around something if you want to. But I just do mine like that. And then I'm going to stick this on my clip and then onto the bow, and this will just give me extra security. This has got a sticky back, but I'm going to use hot glue as well because I really want to make sure that this stays all together, especially if it's going to be worn for school. So open my clip up, pop in that circle so it's central to the bow at the bottom there, and then push it all down. I'll just make sure I've got right to the edge of that felt. And this just gives it extra staying power, so we know that that is not going to fall off the hair clip. I'm also going to add a bit more glue in between these layers here. Doing all the final checks to make sure everything is stuck down tightly and securely on the underside, and then you know that clip is not going to go anywhere. The last thing I like to add is a little pearl to the top center of the bow, the flower, so just in the middle there, or you can add a rhinestone. I think I might use a rhinestone actually. And to add my rhinestone, I like to use my gemstone glue. This is really good stuff for gemstones. Obviously, it does what it says on the bottle. So I'm just going to place a blob on my gem and then add it to the middle of my bow. That will take a while to set, but once that gem is set, that won't go anywhere. And there you have a flower rosette style hair bow. I will link everything that I have used in this tutorial in the description below, so you can check those out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.